Greetings, detectives. We're back talking about the betrayals, blood, and battle of power that is happening in Gotham right now. The second episode of The Penguin keeps the momentum rolling, diving deeper into Oswald Cobb's ruthless climb to power. Colin Farrell brings that sharp edge back to Gotham. A man with unbridled ambition, scratching and clawing to survive. As the dust settles from Carmine Falcone's death, Oz keeps scheming, trying to survive while grabbing any piece of power he can. With Gotham still reeling, the chessboard's been reset, and every move feels like a high-stakes gamble. This episode shows how desperate Oz is to keep his head above water, while plotting a takeover in a world that's only getting more dangerous. First off, and as a little side note, I have to mention the surprise I got when I realized the actor playing Alberto Falcone is none other than the same guy who played Randall back in Season 2 of The Walking Dead. Randall had this whole shady, dangerous group that we never really saw, and I still wonder what that gang was all about. Maybe one day, we'll get a flashback in a future Walking Dead spinoff or game, tying up the loose thread. Anyway, seeing Alberto here was a bit of a throwback, but now he's out of the picture, and it's Sofia's time to shine. Her backstory gets fleshed out more, especially when she talks about her nightmares from Arkham. The scene in Arkham was a little taste of what we might have gotten if the Arkham TV show had taken off, and really, I just sit and imagine the possibilities. Now, the way Oz handles the fallout of Alberto's murder is a thing of beauty. He pins the blame on the Maronis, offering them the Falcone Drops operation in exchange. It's a risky play, but then again, this whole episode is Oz teetering on the edge of exposure, surviving on his wits and lies. The Maronis hit the Falcone drug convoy, but here we've got ourselves a chase that feels like a callback to the one in The Batman. It shows just how slippery Oz is, dodging bullets and chaos with that devilish grin. He's a survivor, no question. Luca Falcone, meanwhile, is trying to push Sofia out of Gotham. Now, I don't see things ending well for this guy. He's a stand-in for all the men in the family who underestimated Sofia, and we all know how that'll turn out. Sofia isn't one to take things lying down, and it's clear she's going to go down swinging. And with her outburst of devouring the food at their gathering, it just felt like a big F you from her to them. Sofia has clearly been through a lot, and I feel like we've got just a major shock coming that could show things were way worse for her growing up than what we could have imagined. Crime's running wild in Gotham, with the radio reporting a whopping 42% crime rate. Now that's a city in chaos, but it also answers the big question on everyone's mind. Where is Batman? Truth is, with the crime so rampant, maybe this isn't a fight he has time to be a part of. At the end of The Batman, we saw him acting more like a rescuer in broad daylight, and honestly, I wasn't a fan of that ending. It would have felt more accurate to the characters for me if Bruce Wayne stepped up, handling the recovery efforts financially instead of Batman suddenly having a Superman moment. But that's another conversation. What really hit home with me in this episode was Penguin's mother's dementia getting worse. She's laying that pressure on Oz to succeed, to give her a better life. That's something anyone who's seen their parents struggle can relate to. The weight of doing well enough to repay their sacrifices. It's universal, and it adds another layer to Oz's desperation. At Alberto's funeral, Oz shares a moment with Sofia, talking about his brother's deaths and his mother's fate. Now, I was waiting for Sofia to mock him, just like her brother did when Oz told Alberto a story about his childhood in the first episode. But she didn't, and it shows a real difference in her character. Sure, Oz is still going to betray her, and it's only a matter of time. But in that moment, you see that she's not like the rest of her family. It doesn't change the fact that she's doomed, but it gives her depth. As the episode rolls on, Oz is promising to get Everett back for the Maronis, pinning the convoy leak on Johnny Vitti. But when the Falcones lock down the house, he shifts the blame to Sofia's man, Castillo. Castillo, by the way, feels like the role of Johnny Vitti played in the comics. The muscle, the guy who got his hands dirty for the family. Though here, Vitti's higher up on the ladder. Sofia, fed up with being pushed aside, decides to take over the family by force, and Oz agrees to help. But we know how this story goes. Sofia might be strong, but if Oz is going to rise as the kingpin of Gotham, he has to outsmart her, not just get lucky. The show isn't about the villains finding some noble cause. No. Oz is the ruthless, conniving character we know, and that's what makes it so satisfying to watch. They're letting the bad guys stay bad, and I love that. Because that's what I'm really enjoying about the Penguin. It's how it's allowing these villains to be who they are. There's no redemption arc for Oz. No moment where he finds a higher purpose. He's a terrible person, doing terrible things. And that's exactly how it should be. This episode was a solid dive into Sofia's backstory, while Oz keeps surviving, scheming, and making things up as he goes. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. We're in for one heck of a ride. And hey, if you're loving the Penguin as much as I am, don't forget to bat-scribe to the channel, smash that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts on the episode, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the latest updates from Gotham's seedy underbelly. Let's keep this ride going together, because I have a lot of content I'd like to put out there, but the fun of it is when you guys interact and we build the community of Batman fans that like the dark, gritty, crime-ridden noir take on the characters. Because Gotham's a dangerous place, and it's only going to get darker. Stick with me, and we'll see who rises and who gets buried. Till next time, stay sharp. This city's always got another trick up its sleeve.